Hi guys, and welcome to today's workout. We've got an interesting one today. Everything we're going to do is going to be an exercise but with a squat. So we're going to squat hammer curl, we're going to squat press, and we'll do many more. So we need to warm up that squat pattern first of all, and what better way to do that is to go into the squat, come up and rotate. We're going to do each warm up exercise for 45 seconds, and then we're going to do each exercise in a workout for 45 seconds, and we're going to do 3 sets, and then we'll cool it down. So let's warm up that squat position first of all. I'm going to use my iPad for the timer here. 45 seconds, 3, 2, 1, sit nice and low into that squat, come up and rotate. Back in, squat, up and rotate. And take it steady, but keep it consistent with the movement. We're not gonna hold no positions. We're just gonna literally warm up that squat position and the spine in rotation. From the side, looks like this, we're nice and low into that squat, you come up, you rotate to one side, you go back down into the squat, you come up, and you rotate into the other side. There is an exercise that's very similar to this today, so it's really important that we warm this up before we get started. Coming into your last 10 seconds, nice and low, get a rotation, push the hips backwards, chest nice and tall, shoulders, feet shoulder width apart, 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one, I want you to sit into the squat, bring your arms behind, and then come up and reach up tall. So we warm up the shoulders again with that squat pattern. So in 3, 2, 1, 45 seconds, nice and low, arms back and behind, then reach up nice and tall. So when you sit into the squat, you bring your arms behind, keep the shoulders flexed, don't flex the spine, keep the chest tall, and then drive up and reach up nice and high without any lean back, and then get nice smooth movement to it. So I stopped there because I wanted to show you a few points, but I don't want you to stop. I want you to move in and out of this, almost as if you're swinging those arms, sitting into the squat, bringing your arms into extension, coming up, reaching nice and tall. It's a big movement as well, so we'll get your heart rate up, which is perfect for what we're going to try to do today. We want to make sure the body's nice and warm and we're ready to exercise. There is a lot of squats. The whole session is based on them. Coming into your last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, your next exercise, we're going to go down to the floor and you're going to get into this kneeling position. You're going to plant your left foot to the floor, your right hand to the floor. You're going to drive the knee forward and reach forward. There's a big stretch in the back and the hips. As you do that, you're going to keep your heel flat to the floor. 45 seconds, drive forward, reach forward, and then come back again. You've got your right hand planted to the floor. You've got your left foot planted to the floor in this kind of kneeling lunge position, and you pulse that knee forwards and you reach forwards. It's going to stretch the hip on the left side in this case. A little bit of a stretch on the hip flexor on the right side. And we're going to do 30 seconds each side. I could say 45, but when we do an exercise where we do each side individually, we'll do 30 seconds. There's your 30 seconds. Change over. So this time, you've got your right foot planted, your left hand planted. Pulse forward and reach. Really get that stretch in the hip. It's a very, very nice stretch, this one. Make sure that that heel on the leading foot stays flat to the floor. Naturally, if you're tight there, you will want to do this. Let's keep that flat. Come back, sit into it, reach forward. Coming into your last 5 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next one, what I'd like you to do, and I'm going to do this from the side, is you're going to sit onto your bum, you're going to bring your feet relatively wide, and all you're going to do is you're going to reach forward and flex your spine. You might not get that far, but that's fine. We're going to work into what you can do. So, reach forward, flex the spine, extend the arms, then come back out and release. You'll feel a stretch on the hamstrings, on the adductor, on the lower back. For some people, this is a really tight position, and you'll find you're just getting to there, but you can only do what you can only do, and it's an opportunity to stretch those muscles that are tight. If you're getting into it quite nicely, then that's fantastic. Let's warm that up. But it doesn't matter. It's all down to how far you can go and taking it to there to promote that flexibility and warm those muscles up. Coming into your last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so let's get ready for today's workout. So today's workout, like I said earlier, is all based on the squat. The first exercise to the last, all squat. But what's going to change within that is what you do with the upper body. First exercise today will be the squat hammer curl. So you've got your weights by your sides, you sit into that squat, you come up and you hit that hammer curl. We're going to work for 45 seconds on each exercise, 15-second break. So 3, 2, 1. So into the squat, coming up, hit the hammer curl, bring it to the shoulders, back down to the pockets where you started from, and just keep repeating that rep. Now I'm going to show you this from the side. You sit low into the squat, push them hips backwards, bring the weights up to the shoulders without lifting the elbows, and just continue that repetition. It's that constant movement. Although there's control, it's a slow, controlled tempo, we're not stopping at any point. I'm going to push all the way through to 45. When you sit low into that squat, don't flex the spine. Keep your hips pushed back, chest nice and tall. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next exercise is going to be a squat press, but because the weights are at the shoulders, it means we're going to do a front squat press. So although we're squatting, sometimes the squat changes in terms of variation. So front squat, 3, 2, 1, into your front squat, drive up into your shoulder press, back down to the shoulders again, rest them on the shoulders. If you find the weights coming away from the shoulders, you're going to overwork them biceps. We keep the elbows nice and high so we can sit into the squat, and this will really get your heart rate up. There's a lot of muscles working here. They all require oxygen to work, so your heart and lungs are going to really start to fire up. I'm going to show you from the side. My feet are shoulder width apart and pushing my hips backwards, chest nice and tall, driving up into that shoulder press with no lean back, full extension of those arms. Now I'm going to keep repeating these points today, and you're going to get bored of me saying them, but it's so important that you keep the right form. 3, 2, and 1. Definitely one of the harder ones here. So obviously with each exercise, you're going to be changing the weights you're going to be using. Some muscle groups are stronger than others. This will be one of your weaker groups now. Back into a normal squat position. You're going to sit into the squat and you're going to hit a lateral raise. And we're going to hit 45 seconds. Let's go. So chest nice and tall, push the hips backwards. Again, bring the weights up to shoulder height. Small pulls back down to pockets, back into the squat. So if there's 6 exercises and we've got 3 sets, that means there's 18 sets of squats in this exercise, in this workout today. Obviously we're mixing it up with the upper body. 25 seconds, make sure that when you're going into the lateral raise, arms nice and long, don't go no higher than them shoulders, keep that chest up tall, push those hips backwards, no lean back on that lateral raise. We're coming into your last 10 seconds, and then we're moving on to your next exercise, and we're going to use the sumo squat this time. 3, 2, and 1. So the sumo squat is a wide stance, feet turned out. I'm going to use 1 dumbbell here because my dumbbell is quite big. You can use 2. You're going to sit into that sumo squat, exactly the same position, hips back, chest nice and tall, come up, hit the front raise, and then back down again. It works well with a single dumbbell on this one. So nice and low, up, drive into the front raise, hold, back down, and then go again. Get that smooth movement. Try not to turn it into a swing. Make sure that it's separate movements. Keep the knee nice and wide in line with the feet, chest up nice and tall. Coming into your last 25 seconds. Again, as you sit into it, chest tall, hips back, very easy to tuck the pelvis under in a sumo squat. As you come up, keep the arms nice and straight into that front raise. We want to work those rear deltoids. Make sure as well, when you go into that front raise, there's no lean back. And coming into your last 5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And once again, this next exercise, I'm going to use 1 dumbbell, but I encourage you to use 2. The reason why I'm using 1 is because these are quite wide, okay? Having 2 wouldn't really work. So sumo squat again, you're going to go into the sumo squat, chest tall, hips back, drive up, drive the elbows high and wide, weight below the chin, upright row, and 45 seconds again. You can see it works really well with these type of dumbbells to go with 1 because you've got that space for your hands to hold onto the dumbbell, and they're a nice distance apart to hit that upright row. With your upright row, you're trying to create an M shape with your forearms, elbows nice and high. There's no lean back again as you come up, and there's no head forward movement as you also come up as well. You're going to pull them up to just below your chin. Elbows should be higher than the weight. With the sumo squat, it stays the same. You're pushing those hips backwards, you're keeping the chest nice and tall, so we're not flexing the spine. Feet are turned out slightly because it's a sumo squat and you've got a wider stance. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so with this next exercise, I'm going to use 1 dumbbell again, and this time I'm going to hold out my chest like this. I'm going to go back to a normal squat, sit into a normal squat, come up, and then push forwards and bring it back in again. This works really well with these adjustable dumbbells, but if you're holding a normal dumbbell, your hands will be like that. So it's only a slight change, it won't make much difference. Into that squat, push forwards, bring it back into the chest again. And again, I'm going to go from the side profile with a squat. If you're trying to understand how it works, you'll get a lot more from it, because you can see I'm keeping my chest tall, I'm pushing my hips backwards, sitting low into it, and driving my arms forward. When I drive forward into this press with this weight, it's in line with my chin. It's not higher than that, it's not lower than that. Extending the arms by squeezing the triceps. We've got normal squat position, so our feet are shoulder width apart. Pushing those hips backwards, really important. I don't want you to flex that spine, certainly not when you've got a load on the chest. 3, 2, 1, good work. So first set down, we're gonna move on to our second set now. We're gonna pick up the weights again to get into our normal squat, standard, and into hammer curl. So in 3, 2, 1. Sit nice and low, drive up into your hammer curl, back down again. So nice and low, drive up into your hammer curl. Make sure that you're not lifting those elbows when you go into that hammer curl. Get nice and low, hips back, from the side again. 25 seconds to go. At this point, the arms might be tired. If you need to adjust your weights, then do so. With the hammer curl, you're going to be reasonably strong, so it can be one of your heavier weights. When it comes to lateral raises, frontal raise, that's when it's going to be lighter weights. Obviously, the legs are doing enough work because they're involved in absolutely every exercise, so we haven't got to worry about loading them up too much. In 3, 2, 1. I think the hardest exercise now is going to be the squat press. Okay, we're going to bring them up to the shoulders. In fact, it's not squat, it's a front squat, because these weights are going to stay at the shoulders. So you're in this position, feet into a neutral position, chest up nice and tall, push the hips backwards nice and low, drive up and extend those arms. Bring back down to the shoulders again, hips back, drive up, extend the arms into the press. Keep the lower back nice and safe, no lean back into this. Make sure you extend the arms without leaning back, and also make sure your head doesn't get forward neither. It's really important that you're not compensating to do the shoulder press. And if you feel like you are, because the weights are too heavy and you're getting tired, then just simply change and go a little bit lighter. Going into your last 15 seconds. Standard squats, it means your feet are shoulder width apart. Nice and low, drive up into your last 5 seconds. Let's get this one out of the way. It really burns the shoulders, especially because you're holding them at the shoulders the whole time. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so next exercise, again on those shoulders, not giving those a break. We're going to go into your standard squat again, but this time into your lateral raise. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. We're on our second set, guys. Drive up, lateral raise, stop at the shoulder height, bring them back down again. Those legs will be burning, those shoulders will be burning, but that's the whole point. This is a good exercise, a good workout if you really want to work the cardiovascular system as well. Lots of movement, remember. And with that lots of movement comes a lot of demand for oxygen, and with that, heart and lungs work that little bit more harder. It's all good stuff. So let's just recap. Make sure chest is tall, hips are back, and I'm getting boring saying that, it's so important. And then as you come up, extend those arms, bring it to shoulder height. Last 10 seconds. Second set, we have one more set to go after this. A couple of the sumo squat exercises next. So you might want to use one dumbbell, you might want to use 2. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to use 1. And that first one, it's going to be a sumo squat front raise. So let's get ourselves in position, feet nice and wide, feet turned out, chest tall, hips back. 3, 2, 1, sit low into that. Drive up, nothing changes on the squat, it's just that your feet position and your feet also in terms of their angles are different. So you've got a wider stance and your feet are turned out. Keep them arms long, sit low into the sumo squat, come up, bring the weight up with straight arms to face level into that front raise. We're going to hit 45 seconds, we're halfway through, and then we're going to do another sumo squat version. This time, or next up, is going to be your sumo squat with your upright row. Coming into your last 10 seconds. Excellent. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. So keep that position, sumo squat position. You might want to get another set, another dumbbell. You can do this with 2, you can do it with 1. These work perfectly for it. So I'm going to take the 1. I'm going to go into that squat, upright row. 3, 2, 1. Nice and low. Drive up. Upright row, M shape with those forearms, driving the elbows up, pull the weight up just below your chin, keep it close to the chest, almost as if it's touching the chest, It's a nice little reference point there. The squat pattern must be really warming up now, certainly working those muscles. So if you get a little bit more range, go for it. As long as you can keep that form. Form is key. 25 seconds now. So into a sumo squat, drive the elbows high and wide, keep it tight to the body, below the chin, 15 seconds. Good work, guys. We have one more exercise. Our last exercise, we're at normal squat position. You can use 2 dumbbells. I'm going to use 1, and it's in that squat push. 3, 2, and 1. So, normal squat position this time. Taking your weights, either 2 or 1. Bring it up to the chest, so it's almost like a front squat again. In fact, it is. You're going to go into that front squat. You're going to come up, and you're going to push forward. I'm going to show you from the side on this one. 3, 2, 1. Nice and low. Come up, push forward, extend the arms, bring it into the chest, hips back. So your feet are just beyond shoulder width apart. They're nice and straight. They can have a slight turn out, but not excessive. It's not a sumo squat. Bring it into the chest. Make sure you touch that chest. Come up, push out. If you had another dumbbell, you can hold it like this. I'm holding it like this. It's the same movement. This is just a lot more comfortable to hold like this. And it can be done with 2 dumbbells. That's not like it's not an option. It can be done as long as the movement's the same. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Keep going. If you had 2 dumbbells, it would look like this. And obviously you're working a little bit more harder if that is the case. And in 3, 2, 1. Good news, 1 more set. Bad news, 1 more set. Just depends how you look at it. So back to our first exercise. That was the standard squat with the hammer curl. And that's in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So nice and low into that squat. Come up, hammer curl. And we're going to really go for it now. It's our last set of today's workout. You've done ever so well so far. Make sure you're selecting the right weights. You can only cheat yourself. If it's too heavy and your form is starting to go a bit sloppy, then go lighter. Don't risk injury and don't create bad habits. However, if it's too easy for you and you know you can afford to lift a bit heavier, then do so. You can only cheat yourself. We're coming into your last 15 seconds. So we're still maintaining that good shape on that squat. Hammer curls, we're keeping the elbows nice and tight to the body. They're not lifting. Keeping the weights vertical. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes that exercise that's I think hardest today, which is the front squat shoulder press. So we're going to keep these weights up near the shoulders. We're going to keep touching the shoulders the whole time and until we're pressing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and low. Drive up into that press. I'm going to show you from the side. Nice and low into that press. No lean back on the lower back. Even though you might have not done it on the first and second set, when we get tired, so easily to start to compensate, not actually even realise it because we're so focused on getting through the seconds that we're given. I'd much rather you stop, get a lighter weight, continue properly, then push through, risk injury, and like I say, form bad habits. We're coming into your last 15 seconds now. Hips back, chest tall, stand up nice and tall. Don't lock out, go into that press. Shoulders get hit on the next 2 exercises. We've got this squat press and then we've got squat lateral raise. 3, 2, and 1. So you're going to take your weights, get back into your squat position again, and you're going to sit nice and low into that squat and go into the lateral raise. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So nice and low, coming up, lateral raise, back down to your thighs again. Nice and low into that squat, come up, lateral raise, back down to your thighs again. And we're going to work in for 45 seconds as we've done the whole session. You can be pleased that you're coming up to the finish line now. This is your last set. Don't get finish line syndrome and want to stop. Just focus all the way through. Again, not compensating on that weight. Nice and high. Chest tall, hips back, stand up tall, don't lock out. Lateral raise up to shoulders, back down again, 15 seconds. We've got the sumo squat exercises coming up next, of which I'm going to use 1 weight, you can use 2. Depends on the size of the weights and also depends on how heavy they are. These vinyl ones, these tend to be a little bit bigger. 3, 2, 1, then the metal ones. Okay, so put 1 weight down, or keep both weights, whatever you want to do. Sumo squat front raise, feet nice and wide, feet turned out, chest nice and tall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and low, drive up, front raise, back down to the thighs again. Keep that shape. You should get a bit of tension on the inside leg when you do this one. It's a nice stretch on the abductors. We're going to work into 45 seconds as we've been doing so far. And the good news is 2 more exercises to go. So after this, 90 seconds of hard work. So this is the time to really start pushing it. Obviously keep the right form, but I want you to start going for it now. You know, if you're finding this too easy, pick up a heavier weight. Do not cheat yourself. We're here to work out, get a result from it. Coming into your last 10 seconds now. I'll count you out for 5. We're into the upright row next. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we don't need to adjust the feet. The feet are in the right position already. We're going to hit that sumo squat and go into your upright row. So just to recap, chest tall, hips back, keep standing. Don't knees drop in on this one. Come up into your upright row, nice and high elbows. 3, 2, 1. Let's see what that looks like. Nice and low. Drive up, upright row. 15 seconds in between each exercise. You've kept with that the full workout. Normally that first set takes a bit longer, but these exercises, although there's 2 movements in one, they're pretty straightforward, but they're effective. Just because they're straightforward doesn't mean they're not effective. No doubt your heart rate's up like mine. If it's not, go heavier. Make sure that when you sit into that sumo squat, your knees don't drop inwards. It's quite easy, especially if you're tight the inside leg. Coming into your last 15 seconds. Last 10 now. Remember, keep the weight close to the body. Don't go above your chin. Elbows high and wide, M shape with them forearms. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now last one, into that front squat position. And then you're gonna sit into that and come up and then press. When you press, don't lean back. So, 3, 2, 1. Nice and low into the squat. Come up, push forward, bring it back into the chest again. Nice and low. Come up, push forward, bring it back into the chest. Again, really push those hips backwards. Really extend the arms by squeezing the triceps. I'll show you from the side. We're coming into your last 30 seconds of your last exercise. When you're tired, easily you can lean back into this. Don't do that. Keep that core tight and keep it nice and neutral. We don't want to hyperextend that spine so you end up squeezing the lower back. That's not good. So if you are, lower your weight. Coming into your last 10 seconds. Keep that tempo. We're not going to rush this, but we're going to continue to work. 5 seconds. And in 3, 2, 1. Fantastic work. Well done, guys. That's 3 sets of each exercise involving a squat. That's a lot. That's 18 sets on your legs there. Brilliant, as well as what we just did with the upper body as well. So we're going to use the same exercises we used on a warm-up. We're going to do slightly different on a cool-down. We're going to hold that position, all that we know already. So the first one that we did today is you went into a squat, and you come up, and you've got that rotation. We're just going to do that. But this time, as you go in, copy me, get that hold, come back up. Nice and low, come up, get that hold, come back up. Notice I'm not getting you to hold the position in the squat because the poor legs have been absolutely destroyed already. But this stretch is more for the trunk, hence the reason why we're holding that rotation, just to promote that flexibility. We're coming into your last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So with this one as well, because we've done a lot of squats today, we're going to get an opportunity to stretch the legs on the floor in a second. Focus more on the arms. Don't expect you to sit so low, but certainly get a squat position. You're going to sit into a small squat, put them arms behind, and then stand and reach up tall. And you'll notice that although I've got the shape of a squat, I'm not sitting that low into it. We're going to stretch those hips in a second. I don't want you doing more squats than we've already done really well. So hold in that position, get a big stretch into extension, come up, lovely stretch into flexion. I'm just going to work into that. Coming into your last 20 seconds before we're going to get down on the floor. With the floor exercises, they won't be for 45 seconds, they'll be for 30, and that's because we're going to do each side individually. Well, there's only one exercise for that. The other exercise, we're on our bums. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the one we're going to do for 30 seconds a side will be the one where we pulse forward and reach forward. And we're going to hold that position at the end to get the stretch in the lower back and the hips. How that looks, left foot planted to the floor, right hand planted to the floor, pulse that knee forward and reach and hold. It's a lovely stretch. Come back out of that. And let's go again, reach and hold, good. And we're working for 4, let's say. We won't time this one. We'll get 4 reps. That's our 3rd. This will be our 4th, and hold that position. That's a lovely stretch. Okay, so change over now. So right foot planted, left hand planted, drive forward and hold. 1, 2, 3, and last 1, 4. Excellent. Okay, so that last one today, last warm down, cool down exercise, shall I say. We're going wide with the feet. Have your hands on the floor, slide them forwards, hold, and come back up again. We'll have 4 again. 1, 2, 3, last 1. So stretching the abductors, stretching the hamstrings, stretching the lower back. Hold that position, and there's 4. Well done today, guys. A tough workout. Each exercise had a squat in there. Like I said, that's 18 sets of squats. You work for 45 seconds. You would have definitely got 10 reps out of there. So the very minimal, you've done 180 squats in today's session. So you can be proud of yourself, plus all the work we've done with the upper body. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.